I'm sorry. I can't keep this to myself anymore. I need to tell someone what happened that night. For your own safety, you have to listen to me. If you're thinking of taking a camping trip into the mountains this winter, don't. Please, don't even ski. If you do, stay with your group and leave before it gets dark. Otherwise, you'll end up like Jake. My name is Stephen Miller, and I was one of the 5 campers. You know, the ones. If you haven't heard about it on the news yet, or in the paper, let me fill you in. Myself, my girlfriend and 3 of our friends went camping into the mountains about a month ago. Only 3 of us came back. One of the girls, Anastasia, and her boyfriend, my friend Jake, were both killed. I know everyone who knows the story thinks Annie just disappeared. She didn't. Just thinking about what happened made me sick. We were on our way to watch the fireworks in a small clearing the girls found earlier that day. Everything was fine at first. Annie was leading the way and Jake and I were right behind her. The 2 of us had been drinking, so our judgment was clouded, but we never thought it would lead to this. While we were walking, Jake told me he was going to play a trick on Annie. I protested, but he told me she loved this sort of thing. I should have known that it was complete bullshit. I watched as he put his arm around her and whispered something in her ear. The 2 of them walked off the path into the woods. Why he didn't wait until we got to the clearing, I have no idea. The whole thing didn't sit well with me, and I know I should have followed them. It wasn't long before Jake came running out of the woods, laughing. He said that he told her he would be right back, and it was now my job to scare the girl. I told him absolutely not, and he responded by saying I was lame and no fun. I knew he was drunk, but this was going too far. I managed to talk him out of the whole thing, and he led me to the spot where he left her. This is where my heart sunk, and the feeling of dread started to pulse through my whole body. The fold-out chair she had been carrying was bloody and completely torn to shreds. But there was no sign of Annie, no footprints, no sign of struggle, other than a chair. Nothing. Jake and I ran out of there as fast as we could. How did we not hear anything? Who or what could have done this to her? Before we reached the campsite, Jake turned to me and told me to keep my mouth shut about him leaving Annie in the woods. I asked him about the chair. Surely the police would find it eventually and see that it was hers. After that, it would only be a matter of time before they put the pieces together. Jake started to shake and tears were running down his face. When we got back to the camp, he completely broke down. I'm sure the girl thought this was because he lost his girlfriend. I knew it wasn't. Jake was scared that he was going to be pinned for the murder. Even though Annie's body wasn't there was no way she survived. Whatever it was that found her, took her body with it. After days of looking, the search parties had to stop due to the major storm was rolling on. We had to go home too. I was in charge of getting us all home safely. I am such a failure. I was only able to drive for a few miles before the storm became too much, and I had to pull into the rest stop. Jake got out of the car to use the bathroom. He was only gone for a few minutes before he came back running. He kept yelling at me to drive and get out of there. I wasn't going to. He was crazy. I tried to calm him down, but something had him so scared that nothing any of us said helped. He finally managed to reach over, shift my sub and barn out of the park, and stepped on the gas. Between the snow and the general chaos, this sent us flying right into a tree. I was barely conscious when I looked up from the steering wheel. Jake's leg was broken, and I could have sworn I even saw bones sticking out. I watched in horror as the passenger side door was ripped off and Jake was pulled out. That's when I saw something that haunts me to this very day. I honestly thought I was dreaming. There, standing over Jake's body, in the middle of the parking lot, was an apparition of a girl in a beret and a cape-style coat. My eyes closed, but before I drifted off, I remember thinking that Annie was wearing a beret and the same coat the day she went missing.